Hello everyone, my name is Paige Whitaker, and today I'll be presenting my research on disaster management within Greece. First, I'd like to start with Greece's historical background. Before 1999, disaster management within Greece was largely reactive and localized disaster response. Usually, local municipalities and volunteers were often the first to respond to an incident. However, everything changed after 1999, when Athens was hit with an earthquake that killed around 143 people. After this, the government was able to create the General Secretariat for Civil Protection, or the GSCP, and this was able to centralize disaster planning and response at the national level. This restructuring also influences Greece's integration into the European Union and civil protection mechanism. As a result, Greece moved from a fragmented approach to a streamlined, coordinated national system that emphasized preparedness, resource sharing, and international cooperation. The implementation pattern that Greece uses is a top-down structure where strategic decisions are made at the national level by the GSCP. The GSCP, like we mentioned before, operates under the Ministry for Climate, Crisis, and Civil Protection, and this allows national coordination with local support. For example, during an emergency, like a wildfire, which Greece experiences very often, local firefighters would engage with the flames directly, but they would do so under the strategic oversight and logistical support from the GSCP. This does ensure national consistency and does give Greece access to broader resources. Sometimes, however, it can delay rapid decision-making at the local level, especially in fast-moving situations like a wildfire. Greece faces a diverse set of natural hazards that continue to shape its disaster planning. For starters, earthquakes are one of the most serious threats that Greece faces due to its tectonic setting. As we mentioned before, in 1999, Athens faced a deadly earthquake that brought about a significant loss of life and shaped disaster management within the country. Not only do they have earthquakes, but they also deal with many wildfires, especially during the summer. The big ones that come to mind are the 2007, 2018, and the 2021 wildfires. On top of that, they deal with urban and flash flooding. In 2017, there was a major flood in Mandra, which also brought about loss of life. And with climate change coming about, they have increasing heat waves and droughts. With all this in mind, Greece has enhanced planning, bringing stricter building codes, AI fire modeling, and flood zone laws, all trying to mitigate disasters within their country. Disaster management in Greece relies heavily on a wide range of stakeholders. As you mentioned before, at the top we have the General Secretariat for Civil Protection. This is going to be who leads coordination and planning of national and regional disaster response. Flowing downward, we're going to have the Hellenic Armed Forces. They are a vital operating force in national emergencies that coordinate with the fire and the police. On the side, you're going to have your local authorities and your international organizations. Your local authorities are going to be your fire and police, and your international organizations are going to be the EU, the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. At the very bottom, you're going to have your non-government organizations, and this could be, for example, the Hellenic Red Cross, which they offer humanitarian aid and relief distribution. With all of these things working together, Greece is able to maintain a resilient disaster management framework. As we saw from the previous slide, Greece is involved heavily with international collaboration. For starters, they're still an active member of the EU Civil Protection Mechanism, where they're able to receive disaster aid and share resources with the EU member states. They also collaborate with the UNDRR, the IPCC, and the OECD for policy alignment. And lastly, Greece is involved in joint training and cross-border drills, all to enhance the response capacity within their country. Despite Greece's progress within disaster management, several challenges still do remain. Budget cuts from the 2008 economic crisis left emergency services underfunded, especially in rural areas. In addition, the country's rugged terrain and many islands also make it difficult to quickly deliver aid during a serious crisis. Urban development in disaster-prone zones like Mandra increase flood risk. And finally, limited early warning systems in remote areas slow down response times. Each disaster that struck created a valuable lesson for the country to learn. In 1999, the Athens earthquake led to stronger building codes and the creation of the GSCP. The 2007 wildfires highlighted weaknesses in emergency response, prompting investments in firefighting capacity and public preparedness. The 2017 Mandra flood revealed major urban planning issues, resulting in updated zoning laws and better flood risks. And the tragic 2018 fires, especially in Mati, exposed communication failures and ultimately led to the formation of the Ministry for Climate Crisis and Civil Protection. In conclusion, Greece has come a long way in building a modern, coordinated disaster management system. Driven by painful past experiences, the country has strengthened its laws, infrastructure, and emergency procedures. While challenges like funding gaps and geography complexity still remain, Greece continues to learn and adapt, showing a clear commitment to protecting its people and communities from future disasters. These are the references I use in preparation for this PowerPoint. I want to thank everybody for listening. I hope everyone has a great day.